I want to kind of show people how I use Apollo because I feel like it can be pretty helpful for those that are doing some lead generation or trying to do some lead generation. They just don't really know where to start, even if you're doing cold calling or if you're just looking for email addresses or addresses or just businesses in general. I feel like Apollo's pretty good for that. So they've been pretty good on the allowing a lot of free items in Apollo. It wasn't necessarily the case before. So let me just pull up Apollo here. Apollo.io. I've already logged in, but you can always sign up for free, which is a nice thing. I mean, really, the pricing isn't that bad, even for basic. But for today, I don't have a subscription to Apollo right now. I have in the past, and it's been really great. Actually, some of the pricing has even come down when I look at this now. So really, I don't use it for a lot of the features that you get in the Pro. I really use it for company research and Outbound, that sort of thing. But anyway, let's just log in here. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, so it just dropped me into my dashboard. I've already been logged in. Yeah, obviously some updates since the last time I've logged in. But really, the thing that I want to go through and help people today with is learning how to use it, or at least how I use it. So the biggest thing for me right now is I want to figure out companies for lead generation for the IT firm that I'm working with. So right now you can see I already have some filters plugged in, but let's just get rid of these filters so you can see what I'm doing here. So right now you can see they have a total of 31.8 million total companies. And so let's just drop in some filters here to see if I can get that down, because 31 million companies is not too helpful for me. So let's go into company. Yeah, I mean, you can go after particular companies if you're doing a more deep dive, which I'm sure we'll get into here in just a minute. But let's say account location. So for me, I want Alberta, Canada. Usually helpful if you can get the drop down. Yeah, see Alberta, Canada right here. So this is going to look for any of the businesses within Alberta and in Canada. So next thing I'm going to look at is employees. So I want to target those. You can see there's a huge predefined range. So for me, the IT company, probably best to sit around the 21 to 50 to 51 to 100 and 101 to 200 size of companies with employees of that range. Then we look at industries and keywords. You can see over here, there's the industries here and the keywords. So for me, I don't really care to see information and technology services, nor do I really want to see any recruits or recruiters, anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into industry and keywords, and I'm going to exclude keywords such as information technology. Then I'm also gonna want to do what is this job? What would this be? Recruiting. Yeah. Okay. So that's gonna drop down my total list here. So now I got 4,300 possible companies. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just going through and filtering out a lot of the things I don't want to see. It took me a few minutes to go through and do this because you have to be pretty specific on the exclusions you want. So for me, I just went through and got rid of some of this stuff. A lot of it was garbage, things I didn't need to see. And I don't think that you guys wanted to sit through a few minutes of me going through this, so I just sped it up in post just so you can see kind of what I'm doing and what you might need to do for yourself. Okay, so I think this is a pretty good list. So, I mean, we knocked it down from, I think it was 17 million possible companies. We got it down to 2.3K. So let's see if we can bring this, kind of reel this back in here into kind of a tighter list. So let's take a look at the employee count again. So you can see we have a lot in this 21 to 50 range. We have 489 in this 51 to 100 range, and then 101 to 200 we have about less than 200. So it at this point could be helpful if you wanted a bigger list, to just export this entire thing, right? So you can easily come in here. I gotta find where it is now, but you can come in here and let's just go back to page 1. Okay, so we're gonna select the total 2,279 companies, so we can go apply. Okay, so this is where if you had a free plan, you're probably not gonna be able to do that much record selection. So this is where it'd be, yeah, you get 25 record selection limit, right? So you want to be if you're using the free version, you want to be very specific on who you want to target. But that's okay. We don't have to select all of them and export them. This is the nice thing about Apollo free version. If you know, let's see who would be some good people for us to reach out to. So this is where you can do some company sleuthing. So I'm actually going to duplicate this tab. So we're going to duplicate it. This is going to pull in, yeah, it's going to pull in all my filters and everything again. So I just duplicate it just so I have a reference tab to go back to, so I know if I screw anything up by going into any of these companies, I can just easily go back to my original search here. So let's pick a good company. So it's me again in post. I sped this up again. It's really just me trying to find a good example company. I went into this one that had literally nothing in there, so figured it probably wouldn't be a good example. I also went into the city of Wetaskiwin, talked about how to use the people side of things, how to go through and just click on email so you can get their email. Really nothing too interesting here. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, and I'm gonna basically show it again here in just a couple minutes here. And we see, let's go into people now. 1992, they'll give us some information here, maybe some links. So it gives you the website, the LinkedIn page, Facebook, Twitter page. So let's see how much they're reporting here. So they're reporting 92 staff, but let's go to LinkedIn just to verify, because sometimes their LinkedIn has a better list of people. So let's go ECO Canada LinkedIn just through that link that I clicked on there. Should be, oh, this is the Wetaskiwin one. Let's cancel that. So here's the LinkedIn page. We go here. Let's see. They're reporting 51 to 200 employees. Let's go people and see. Okay, so there's 159 associated members according to LinkedIn, which again, LinkedIn can be wrong sometimes. So now if we go back and see on our filter here. Okay, so ECO Canada, 160 employees. So it's pretty close. I mean, 159 associated members from LinkedIn. What if we go to their web page too? So let's just open this in a new tab. Yeah, so this is just me going through and verifying that the website actually exists and checking out their office locations, just so that I can kind of get a grasp to see if they would actually have 159 employees. So they might have 159, which might also be a very good lead for us. So what I will do is I will go add to list, right? And you can create a new list. I'll just go IT company lead list, and I'll add this to my lead list for the IT company. So that doesn't necessarily say, hey, you know what, I'm going to use a credit. It just means that, hey, I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to use my list later. And then maybe I'm going to come in here and I say, hey, I want to try to reach out to Kevin Nielsen. So I'll access his email. Maybe if they got the phone number in there too, I'll maybe access that as well. I know I could always call the main line and try to reach them there, which, I mean, I will probably end up doing just so I don't have to use a credit. But if you wanted to do multiple touch points, it's a great area to do it, right? So you can also come into technologies. For me, this is helpful because it gives me a little bit about what kind of technologies they're using. So if I know I can't work with them, then that's okay. So nothing in here that really helps me. It looks like it's just pulling some information from the website, I'm gonna assume. Go to webinar, Facebook widget. Yeah, so it's just looking at all of their socials and seeing what kind of technology they're using. If there's anything in here like Google Docs or Google G Suite, probably not going to be a good fit for me, and then I'd take them off the list, obviously. So this can definitely be used from marketing perspective as well, just to see if they're doing any marketing or that sort of thing. Other things, employee trends, so you can kind of see a little bit about what the employee growth has been like, so you can tell if they've had, well, some good years or some bad years, that sort of thing. So again, just some good trends to see. Sales, so you can see their sales staff has increased slightly. Finance staff seems relatively the same. Everything else seems relatively the same. And then marketing, you can see that they've had a few fluctuations in marketing, but overall they're on a 13% growth. Retention, also a good thing. So you can see how well the company's been doing. Churn, churn. So fairly low churn rates and pretty average retention rates. You can see the different departments and that sort of thing. So you can see where the increases have been. Human resources have gone down. So maybe got a little bit more efficient there. And then, of course, locations, if they can pull that data. So it's saying California, North Carolina. Let's go world map. Yeah, 62 employees in Canada. So it's probably a good indication that they're a Canadian-based company. And yeah, so I mean, this is how I use Apollo when I come into here. Is I really just use it to go through and find companies that I want to contact or reach out to, and be able to kind of understand who these people are in the organization. There's obviously big discrepancy sometimes with companies that don't post their data online. So good example would be this Kevin Nielsen. It's always a good idea to see if you can find their LinkedIn. So you can see this one links to his LinkedIn here. So always a good idea to verify the information that Apollo is giving you. So right here, I can pull in Kevin Nielsen. He's president and CEO at ECO Canada. So this is good indication that he's still working there. And of course, you can go down and you can see, okay, president 9 years. So he's likely not going anywhere, right? You can also use this as a good metric for if they've just started, where they came from, all of this other info. But you need to do a little bit of vetting in here, because sometimes this information, especially the lower down the totem pole you get, like if I were to go after the sales manager, for example, it's possible that he might not even work there, or he might not even have a LinkedIn that's very active. I assume as a sales manager he'd be fairly active, but it's possible that he is also not. So, okay, so where is he working? Let's go down here. Okay, so he's been there for 4 months, so he's fairly fresh, but he did update his LinkedIn saying that he is working there, so it's a good indication that he is still working there, right? But again, like I say, as we go down the list, it could be completely different, right? We can go, let's say, just for consultant, let's go consultant, and let's see, because this is probably going to be a great indication to show that, okay, probably didn't work there. ECO Canada Associate Registrar, Environmental Program Accreditation Program Development Lead. You know, this one is kind of a toss-up, because it seems like because they're a consultant doesn't necessarily mean that they're working there, but they've just put it as their LinkedIn that they had worked there in the past. So again, doing some vetting is going to be very helpful. So it does take a little bit of time, but the more you do it, the more you're going to see, okay, yes, this is going to be relevant information, and maybe not. Other things is you can access mobile. I mean, me personally, I don't like to access mobile phone numbers. I would rather call the main line and try to get them, because there's nothing worse than having somebody call your cell phone and do cold calling. So to me, using a phone number is always going to be helpful. Like the main line is always going to be more helpful than actually trying to reach that person directly, because you also don't know if that phone number is even active. So why spend the 8 credits to access the phone number when you could just check via Apollo? And the Apollo will actually tell you if it's been a verified and validated email, which is nice. If it's not sure, it will usually have like a question mark. It would probably be yellow, that sort of thing. So you'll kind of give you some, like you'll see here, question mark, unable to be verified. And if it's really not sure, then it might make something up, and doesn't necessarily mean that you want to spend some credits on that. So you can do that. The nice thing too is, let's just go back to, so let's say I want to add Kevin Nielsen to a list because, hey, maybe I want to reach out to him later. So I can just go add to list. I can go create new list here again. And this is going to be a list for people rather than companies. So let's say IT lead list people. Okay, yeah, so we'll update this. And there we go. Should be added to the list now. Just thinking about it. Okay, list successfully created. So now if I go over here and I go into people, you're going to see Kevin Nielsen showing up. Skip tour. So I'm going to have to find my list. So if I go list, select list IT people, or IT lead list people, you can drop that down and you see Kevin Nielsen, ECO Canada. Oh, look at that. It pulled his email in. So it must have used a credit for that, which is okay. I'll probably be reaching out to him anyway. So that's sweet. And if I go into companies, you can see this one shouldn't use a credit at all. So, and then you can go back to your company list and go back into the ones that you want to try to reach out to. So yeah, that's kind of how I use it from a free perspective. I want to utilize as much free tools as I can and not use a lot of this other stuff. Because I mean, you can use this for data enrichment and all of these other things you probably don't care or need to care about, especially when you're doing lead generations. So I'd say sign up for free, test it out, see how you like it. Again, you're going to have way different filters than what I'm going to have, and that's fine. I might actually sign back up for Apollo, but for the meantime, I just wanted to give a brief rundown of how I use it from a free perspective so that you guys can understand how it all works.